Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now May 22nd of 2022, and as we get closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, a lot of Star Wars fans are also getting very excited about other Star Wars series that will be announced at this year's and next year's Star Wars Celebration event. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, not only are we getting very close to the Kenobi series, but we're also getting very much near Star Wars Celebration, which by the way is going to be a big day for people like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, George Lucas, Bob Chapek, etc. That's going to unveil all these new Star Wars TV shows, all these new Star Wars canon pieces that will be inserted into the comics, the books, and the novels. But one thing that a lot of fans have been very curious about is exactly what kind of changes are coming our way toward, of course, the Star Wars universe as a whole. Now, we already know that everything related to what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are trying to do is that they are trying to revive Star Wars Legends as much as possible. We already know that they will be using a lot of elements from the Thrawn Trilogy books, of course, from the 1990s, and using that in the Ahsoka Tano TV show, which, by the way, in case you guys did not know, the Ahsoka series is going to be a multi-season show. So it's not just going to be a limited series, it is going to be a multi-season show. So that's one thing to look forward to. And basically, from what we have heard, is that the Ahsoka show is going to basically be Star Wars Rebels Season 5, but in live-action form. That's basically the overall approach to the Ahsoka series and exactly how they will be treating that show. Now, on top of all of this, what's even all the more exciting is exactly what Lucasfilm has in store for the future of the Star Wars universe and how it's going to really impact the sequel trilogy greatly. Now, with that being said, however, with many new Star Wars TV shows and films currently in the works, creators Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are also preparing to make some drastic adjustments to the Star Wars universe moving ahead. Now, it's described that currently one of the big changes that they will be making has a lot to do with the retcons that are being prepared for the sequel trilogy movies. Further, it's described that one of the big plans by Lucasfilm for resetting many elements of the sequel trilogy are going to be done in both the Ahsoka Tano series and also a brand new untitled series that will also feature the World Between Worlds that are set to actually retell scenes, of course, from the sequel movies that will reset history and elements of what J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson created some time ago. Now, these changes that are being made are currently being created by both Jon and Dave Filoni. One of the major changes has a lot to do with Luke Skywalker's fate, as well as changing key scenes for characters like Rey, Kylo Ren, Palpatine, and more in the sequel movies that will be altered using the World Between Worlds. One of the key scenes that are going to be filmed by this July is set to involve a moment in which Jon and Dave are preparing to reset the entire sequence in which Luke Skywalker tries to annihilate his own nephew in his sleep. The plan by Favreau and Filoni is to essentially use some deleted footage from the sequel trilogy movies along with new footage that will retell certain aspects in the sequels to essentially change the past and certain decisions that the sequel trilogy characters make. Things such as Rey's parents, her bloodline, and more will also be completely shifted and reset in the Star Wars universe using the World Between Worlds realm. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second in case you guys are a little out of the loop on exactly what the Worlds Between Worlds really is. Now, basically, if you guys have not seen that episode from Rebels Season 4, go ahead and look it up. It's going to fill you in on everything. But to make things a little bit more simple, it is basically Dave Filoni's version of time travel, using these portals, or these windows, if you will, that breaks through space and time that allows one to reach out to that moment. Now, Ahsoka Tano, was saved by Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels, as you all saw. So what they're trying to do now is that they're actually going to have Ahsoka Tano changing key elements of the sequel trilogy movies using the World Between Worlds. Now, we already know that the Ahsoka series is already planned to have a second season already for either 2024 or 25, and it is going to be a very extensive show. They want to make sure that the Ahsoka series is going to be a very elongated show that's going to go beyond 3 seasons. And that, to me, I think it really goes to show you that that is going to be the show that is going to be very force-heavy. It's going to have a lot to do with the Jedi, you know, the dark side warriors, and everything that a lot of fans love in the Star Wars world when it comes to the mythology, right? And that's one thing that a lot of fans love, is the mythology of the franchise, right? So that's one thing to be aware of, is that Disney and Lucasfilm will be taking advantage of all of that. Now, with that being said, however, moving on from this, Disney CEO Bob Chapek is the one who recently approved this entire plan by Favreau and Filoni to use this in not just the Ahsoka series, but also another new series that is currently dubbed simply as the Circle of the Wills. Ahsoka Tano as a character is said to be the one responsible for controlling these key changes to the sequel trilogy movies, where it's something that George Lucas will also be helping out with to make sure that the right choices are being made in order to create a new era of Star Wars canon. Now, Disney and Lucasfilm are preparing to do this also in a more aggressive approach, with other changes using a new series called The Circle of the Wills that will focus on the godlike creatures and the origin of the Star Wars galaxy. Now, this series, of course, however, is described to be done in lifelike animation form that will give fans a bridge between both live action and animation. Currently, Dave and John are very excited to make sure that multiple retcons toward the sequels are going to be made, and as they know, many fans have been very upset with how the sequel trilogy came out to be, and what choices Disney made with that trilogy. Currently, John and Dave are getting ready to also film Hayden's scenes as Anakin Skywalker by this July for the Ahsoka series as well. So here's the deal about all of this, alright? Is that we already know that the world between worlds is going to be a big deal in the Ahsoka series at some point in time, and a lot of those scenes are going to be filmed by this July as well. The other thing that I do want to point out about John and Dave Filoni is that these two individuals are very hardwired when it comes to how they want to display Star Wars Legends. They're very much hardwired in a sense to do this in a positive way. They want to make sure that a lot of adjustments are going to be made toward the sequel trilogy to really shift the timeline and to really kind of make room for what's about to be done in the overall Mandoverse. So keep that in mind. Now, the thing about the world between worlds, I know a lot of fans out there are going to be very skeptical and have a lot of criticism about this, that time travel should not come with the Star Wars live action, but it already exists in the canon in some way, shape, or form, technically speaking. So the fact that we have Dave Filoni, you know, really introducing all of this into the actual universe itself really is a big deal, you know, when you think about it in that way. And to be honest, I think it's very much inspiring and impressive over the fact that John and Dave Filoni are going to be using a lot of deleted footage from the sequel trilogy films and refilming aspects of those particular scenes that are about to be redone for the sequel trilogy movies in the Ahsoka Tano TV show. So that's one thing to actually, you know, remember, is the fact that they will be utilizing a lot of deleted footage, a lot of archived footage from the sequel trilogy movies, and implementing that into the Ahsoka series eventually, of course. Now, let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.